Estas tierras tienen sabor a
These lands
evangelio.
have the flavor of the
Todo
gospel.
el entorno que nos rodea,
Everything
con
around us,
este inmenso mar
against the
de
backdrop
fondo,
of this immense sea,
nos ayuda a
helps us
comprender
to
mejor
better understand
la vivencia
the
que los
experience that the
apóstoles
apostles
tuvieron
had
con
with
Jesús.
Jesus and that
Y
today
hoy
we are
también
invited
nosotros
to relive.
estamos invitados a vivirla. Me alegra saber
I'm happy to know
que han venido
that you have come from
desde
different
distintos
parts of
lugares
northern
del norte
Peru
peruano para
to
celebrar
celebrate this joy
esta
of the
alegría
gospel.
del Evangelio. Los discípulos de ayer,
Those
como tantos de
disciples,
ustedes hoy,
like so many of
se
you
ganaban la
today,
vida con la pesca.
made their living from fishing.
Salían en barcas, como
They
algunos
went
de
out in
ustedes siguen
boats,
saliendo
just like
en
some
los
of you who
caballitos de
continue to go
totora,
out in your
y tanto
traditional
ellos
reed
como
boats
ustedes con el
for the
mismo
same
fin,
reason that you do, to earn
ganarse el
your
pan
daily
de cada
bread.
día. En eso se juegan mucho de nuestros
Much of our
cansancios
daily fatigue
cotidianos,
has to do with
por
just
poder
this,
sacar
trying to
adelante
support our
nuestras
families
familias
and to provide
y
them
darle
with
lo
what
que
will
les
help them to
ayudará
build
a
a better
construir
future.
un futuro mejor. Esta laguna con peces
This lake of
dorados, como
golden
la han
fish,
querido
as you
llamar,
call it,
ha sido fuente
has
de
been a
vida y
source of
bendición
life
para
and
muchas
blessing for many
generaciones.
generations.
Supo nutrir los
It has nurtured
sueños y las
dreams and hopes
esperanzas
over the
a lo largo
years.
del tiempo. Ustedes, al igual que los
Like the
apóstoles,
apostles, you know the
conocen
power
la
of
bravura
nature.
de la naturaleza
You have
y
experienced
han
its force.
experimentado sus golpes.
Just as the
Así
apostles
como
faced
ellos
the storm on
enfrentaron
the
la
sea,
tempestad sobre el mar,
you have had to face the brunt of the Niño Costero, whose painful consequences are still present to so many families, especially those who are not yet able to rebuild their homes.
aquellas que todavía no pudieron reconstruir sus hogares. También por esto quise
This is
estar
also why I
y
wanted to
rezar
be
aquí
here
con
and to pray
ustedes.
with you.
A esta Eucaristía traemos también ese momento
We also
tan
bring to this Eucharist
difícil
celebration
que
that difficult
cuestiona
moment that
y pone
questions our
muchas
faith and
veces en
often
duda
causes
nuestra
it
fe.
to waver.
Queremos unirnos a
We want to
Jesús.
unite ourselves to
Él
Jesus.
conoce el dolor y
He
las
knows our
pruebas.
pain and our trials.
Él atravesó todos los
He
dolores
endured the
para
greatest of
poder
sufferings
acompañarnos en los
in order to
nuestros.
accompany us in our own
Jesús en la
trials.
cruz quiere estar
The
cerca
crucified
de cada
Jesus wants to
situación
be close to
dolorosa
us in
para
every
darnos su
painful
mano
situation,
y
to give us a
ayudar a
hand
levantarnos.
and to help lift us up.
Porque Él entró en
Because
nuestra
He entered
historia.
into our history,
Quiso compartir
He
nuestro
wanted to share in
camino
our
y
journey
tocar
and touch
nuestras
our
heridas.
wounds.
No tenemos un Dios ajeno a lo que
Ours
sentimos
is a
y
God who is
sufrimos.
not unfamiliar
Al
with what we
contrario,
feel and
en
suffer.
medio
On the
del dolor,
contrary, in the midst of
nos
our
entrega
pain,
su mano.
He stretches out His hand to us.
Estos sacudones cuestionan y
These
ponen
times
en
of
juego
being
el valor de
buffeted
nuestro
call into
espíritu
question and
y
challenge
de
our
nuestras
strength of
actitudes
spirit
más
and our
elementales.
deepest convictions.
Entonces nos damos cuenta
They make us
de lo
realize how
importante
important
que
it is
es
to
no
stand
estar
united,
solos,
not
sino
alone,
unidos.
and
Estar
to be
llenos de
filled
esa
with that
unión
unity,
que es fruto
which
del
is a fruit
Espíritu
of the
Santo.
Holy Spirit.
¿Qué le pasó a las muchachas
What
del
happened to the
Evangelio
virgins
que
in the
hemos
gospel
escuchado?
passage that we just
De
listened to?
repente sienten un grito
Suddenly,
que
they
las
heard a
despierta,
loud cry
las
that
pone en
woke them up and
movimiento.
made them scurry.
Algunas se dieron cuenta que no
Some of them
tenían el
realized that they
aceite
did not have
necesario
sufficient oil
para
to make their
iluminar
way
el
in the
camino en la
darkness,
oscuridad.
while others filled their lamps
Otras, en
and could
cambio,
see and follow the
llenaron
path that
sus
led to the
lámparas y
bridegroom.
pudieron encontrar
At the
e
appointed time,
iluminar
each
el
of them showed
camino
what
que
they
las
had
llevaba
filled
hacia
their
el
life
esposo.
with.
En el momento indicado, cada una mostró de qué había llenado su vida. Lo mismo
The
nos
same
pasa a
thing
nosotros.
happens to us.
En determinadas
There are times when we realize
circunstancias,
that we have
nos
filled our
damos
lives
cuenta con
with
qué
what we have
hemos
filled our lives
llenado
with,
nuestra
how
vida.
important it is to fill our
Qué
lives with the oil
importante es
that lets us
llenar
light our lamps in
nuestras vidas
situations of
con ese
darkness
aceite
and to
que
find the
permite
paths to
encender
move
nuestras
forward.
lámparas en las múltiples situaciones de oscuridad y encontrar los caminos para seguir adelante. Sé que en el momento
I know
de
that in
oscuridad,
time of darkness,
cuando
when you felt the
sintieron el
brunt of the
golpe del
Niño,
niño
these lands kept moving forward. You had the oil needed to go out to help one another like true brothers and sisters. You had the oil of solidarity and generosity that stirred you to action, and you went out to meet the Lord with countless concrete gestures of support. In the midst of darkness, you, together with so many others, were like living candles that lighted up the path with open hands, ready to help soothe the pain and share what you had from your poverty with others.
In the Gospel account, we see how the virgins who did not have oil went to the town to buy some. At the crucial moment of their lives, they realized that their lamps were empty and that they lacked what was essential to find the path of authentic joy. They went off by themselves, and so they missed out on the party. There are things, as you well know, that cannot be improvised, much less be bought. The soul of a community is measured by how it manages to come together to face times of difficulty and adversity in order to keep hope alive. By doing so, they give the greatest witness to the gospel. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. For faith opens us to a love that is concrete, practical, generous, and compassionate. A love that can build and rebuild hope when it seems that all is lost. In this way,
un amor de obras, de manos tendidas, de compasión, que sabe construir y reconstruir la esperanza cuando parece que todo se pierde.
In this way, we share in God's own work, which the Apostle John describes in showing us a God who wipes the tears of his children. God carries out this divine work with the same tender love that a mother has when she dries the tears of her children. What a beautiful question the Lord will ask us. How many tears did you dry today? Other storms can hit these coasts with devastating effects on the lives of the children of these lands. These storms, too, make us question ourselves as a community and test the strength of our spirit. Among these are organized violence, like contract killings, and the insecurity that they breed, or the lack of educational and employment opportunities, especially among young people, which prevents them from building a future with dignity. Or the lack of secure housing for so many families forced to live in highly unstable areas without safe access. Or the many other situations that you have to experience which, like terrible earthquakes, destroy the mutual trust so necessary to build a network of support and hope. Earthquakes that shake the soul and require all the oil we have if we are to respond to them. We often wonder about how to face these storms or how to help our children pull through in these situations. I want to tell you that no better way exists than that of the gospel. It is called Jesus Christ. Fill your lives always with the gospel. I want to encourage you to be a community that lets itself be anointed by the Lord with the oil of the Spirit. He transforms, renews, and strengthens everything. In Jesus, we have the strength of the Spirit, not to treat as natural the things that hurt us, that dry up our spirit, and what is worse, rob us of hope. In Jesus, we have the Spirit who keeps us united so that we can support one another and take a stand against whatever would take away all that is best in our families.
Dear Peruvians, at this time in your history, you do not have the right, you have not the right to let yourself be deprived of hope.
In
Jesus, we have the Spirit who keeps us united so that we can support one another and take a stand against whatever would take away the best in our families. In Jesus, God makes us a believing community, able to sustain itself, a community that hopes and therefore struggles to reverse and transform every adversity. A community that loves because it will not let us fold our arms. With Jesus, the soul of this town of Trujillo can continue to be called the city of eternal spring, because with him everything is an opportunity for hope. I know of the love that this land has for the Virgin, and I know how devotion to Mary always sustains you and lifts you up to Jesus. Let us ask Our Lady to cover us with her mantle and always bring us to her Son.
Our Lady repeats the same advice: do whatever he tells you.
But let us do so by singing along to that lovely Andean marinera, Our Lady of the Gate, grant me your blessing. Our Lady of the Gate, give us peace and much love.
¿Se animan a cantarla? La cantamos juntos. ¿Quién empieza a cantar? Virgencita de la Puerta. El coro tampoco. Entonces se lo decimos si no lo cantamos. Juntos. Virgencita de la Puerta, échame tu bendición.
Virgin of the Gate, grant me your blessing.
Danos paz y mucho
Virgin
amor.
of the Gate, give us peace and much love.
Virgencita de la Puerta,
Our Lady of the Gate,
échame tu bendición.
grant me your blessing.
Virgencita de
Our
la
Lady of the
Puerta,
Gate, give us
danos
peace and
paz
much love.
y mucho amor.